Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I am the Drunk Linux User. And today we're going to talk about hardware acceleration because it was the bane of my existence for a little bit because I didn't know that it was turned on and what it was doing. I was watching videos using YouTube and Vimeo and the Chrome browser or a Chrome-based browser because I use Brave. I'd get about halfway through and the screen would lock up. Couldn't move the cursor, couldn't close windows, couldn't Ctrl-Alt-Delete, couldn't Ctrl-Alt-Backspace to refresh the desktop. So that's when I did a little bit of digging, and that's when I found out about hardware acceleration, specifically Chrome hardware acceleration. 3 times real fast, right? So I kind of begged the question then, what is hardware acceleration? Because I'd seen it and I kept thinking, well, maybe it's a way where they're kind of juicing things up a little bit with the processor. Maybe they're telling the processor, okay, you need to go a little bit higher than your standard clock rate. Boy, was I wrong. We'll get into that right here. Chrome hardware acceleration explained. And what it is, if you enable hardware acceleration, you are allowing your apps to use parts of your hardware to improve overall performance. So what they'll do is they'll take websites that are more polished, okay, they have maybe web apps built into them as well, and they'll borrow some power from your graphics and sound card to be more efficient. But I think what's happening is that with integrated graphics chips like I have, that they just don't have the beef to keep things going, right? So what I've done is I've turned off hardware acceleration based on a suggestion, and it worked. I don't have any freezing anymore. You can check to see what you've got going right now on your own. If you're using Chrome or Edge or Brave or Vivaldi or any of these, instead of using the word Chrome, use the browser name. I use Brave or :/GPU, and I come up with this guy right here. And what it's showing is that I have some things that are disabled from the get-go, but hardware acceleration was engaged when I installed this browser. So what do you do to turn that sucker off? You can see hardware accelerated, master rastered threads enabled. Boy, I said that the first time real good too. Well, what you do is you go into settings. And let me get back to the beginning here. We'll go to settings. Okay, you see that. And then you'll go to additional settings, down to system. And you can see right here that it is enabled. Now, I always turn Chrome off in the background or Brave because why do I need this thing running? I don't have mail that I check or anything like that. So I always turn that off. I think it saves a little bit of RAM, keeps your processor from being hungry all the time for more power. So beyond all that, let's get back to hardware acceleration. Just turn that thing off, relaunch your browser. Okay, let's go back over here. You can see that it's been turned off. Go back over to the GPU settings. Oh, look, it actually did Chrome, even though I did Brave. Okay, so now that you can see that all of these things, hardware acceleration, unavailable, disabled, some things apparently you cannot disable, which is very, very interesting. So this page is really, really nice in explaining exactly what it is and how you can enable it or disable it. So if you're having problems, start with this page first. I think this is a great way to learn more about hardware acceleration and how to fix your system. I also went over here, and this is how to fix YouTube freezing on Chrome and Edge. And this is, I like this first solution, update your graphics driver. Well, I'm on Linux. There are graphics drivers that I can upgrade to, but I'm actually using the best one for my system, so I can't do that. I've already double checked, and this is primarily for mostly Windows peoples anyway. Solution 2, log in and out of your Google account. I have no idea why that would help, but apparently, according to them, even though they say it's a weird solution, give it a shot. Okay. Restore to the old version of YouTube. Well, I don't know how possible that is these days. I haven't tried it myself, but since they've changed everything, it seems to be the same. I don't see how you can go back. Disable some unwanted plugins and extensions. I did try that as well. On Microsoft Edge, this is how you work with extensions, Google Chrome, hardware acceleration. Solution number 5. And this is where they go into the same explanation and solution. Update your computer drivers. Predominantly, this is about Windows, but there are a couple gems in here for Linux users as well, so I'll leave this one up for you. Now, this page right here is from Google. Somebody asked the question, and the question was up here. I recently installed a used graphics card, so on and so forth, and it's talking about the hardware acceleration, and this is where it came up with a very interesting scenario for me here, and that was to use Chrome flags and look for hardware accelerated video decode and change it to disabled. When I did that, see right here, not available on your platform. Well, that's special. So apparently this is available for Windows. I'm going to guess for Mac as well. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that for a fact, for my situation, if you turn that little sucker off right there, you're in good shape. For the most part, you don't have any problems. Here's another web page I've got, how to enable hardware acceleration video. If you have the beefy GPUs and sound cards, give it a shot. If you're using one of these different browsers, this page will let you know how to do it. There's also Wayland, which I'm not using. I'm using Xorg, which is a different type of video processing system. Yes, it takes a little bit more memory than Wayland does, but Wayland's still being tweaked and worked on. It has some issues every once in a while. For example, when I'm using OBS Studio to make these videos, for some odd reason, my camera will not show up on the desktop part of it. So I use Xorg, and it's fine. It's not using that much more RAM to use Xorg over Wayland, but you know, it might be different for you. So this is it. This solved my I'm watching video, or I also sometimes will take the video and throw it over to my reasonably large size TV so that I can watch it over there, listen to it through the stereo or through the TV speakers or whatever, using HDMI. And don't know if one has anything to do with the other or not, but it didn't matter if it was on the TV or on the desktop. I was having problems. Check hardware acceleration. Turn it off, restart your browser. Give it a shot. See if it'll work for you. Yay. So, remember our words of wisdom. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't go to eBay or Amazon and buy crap you don't need because you're all buzzed up and you think, oh, that's so cool, because it's probably not. It's too early in the day, but bottoms up. Later, dudes. Not a sponsor. It just tastes good.